This story basically is true. The first part's definitely true, and I'll just explain it to you. I was playing in a club in Edinburgh, and when I come off stage, I met a girl I knew. She's a nurse from Edinburgh, and she said, "Oh, that was smashing." And I said, "Thanks very much." She says, "Oh, I wish I was a folk singer." Well, I didn't want to say, "I wish I was a nurse," you know. So I said, "That's fair enough, you know." But we were talking away, and the conversation was getting awful boring, you know. Like, "Oh, the nights are fair drawing in. There's enough of nip in the air." And I said, "Aye, very good, aye." So I thought I'd cheer the conversation up a bit. And I said, "Nurse, eh? Oh. She says, "Aye." I says, "You must see some freaks, eh?" Oh. Hoping she'd tell me about people with 3 bums and all that. But she says, "Oh, aye, do we not see them?" I said, "Well, come on!" She said, "Well," and she told me a story about a guy they found in the street at Kirstorfen in Edinburgh. It's on Princess Street before it's called Princess Street. Along at the zoo, there are some bungalows. That's Kirstorfen, the sort of spam belt of Edinburgh. And they found this guy on the grass. Somebody had phoned up the hospital and said, "Could you come and take this chap away? He's lying on the grass verge. And I think he's terribly injured. Could you please come and take him away fast, because judging by his clothes, he's working class and he's frightening the kids, you know." So this ambulance drew up and they poured this poor creature in to the ambulance and away up to the hospital. Put him in a bed, started battering blood into him at one end, and it was scooshing all over the place. Squirting out all the holes in his body. There was bits missing and fingers and big holes in him. So the blood was going all over the place, and they were getting really distressed because it was going to the curtains and the floor. The nurses were slipping and dropping all the gear and swearing and, panic. The doctor was saying, "Well, what'd you make of that, Tam?" That's another doctor. He said, "Well, I don't know, Alec." I said, "Well, James Crivens, help my Bob. That's all I can say for that." He said, "I know." He said, "Well, I'll tell you something, Alec. It's not assault and battery." He says, "And how do you make that out, Tam?" She says, "To assault and batter a man to that degree, you'd have to kneel in his belly button, batter him with a hammer for a fortnight, and then a good rub down with sandpaper." But while they were chatting away there, the guy snuffed it. Dead, gone forever. And they said, "Oh, I wonder who he is." So they opened up his jacket, and it was a Spanish label on his jacket. And judging by the extent of his injuries and the Spanish label, they said he was probably a stowaway on an aeroplane in the undercarriage. And as it came into Edinburgh, it opened out. He'd be lying there reading his Playboy and get the fright of his life. Deed. And I think that's a terrible shame. And the nurses were saying, "Oh, he's probably one of these romantic Spaniards coming over here to meet a nice Scottish girl." I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm terrified of flying. And before I fly, I have 4 or 5 pints of the foaming ale and 4 or 5 little whiskies, sometimes known as nippy sweeties. By the time I've had them, I'm everybody's pal and I'm game for anything. Ding dong, the next flight to... Oh, that's mine! Hey! Running, first in the queue. Here we go! Yoo-hoo! Up the gangway steps 2 at a time. Yoo-hoo! No problem! How's the weather in Havana? People go upset, you see. And away down the aisle of the airplane. You know, no matter how early you go on your airplane, there's always these wee men with the briefcases and the white knuckles. sitting at the side of the aisle. The wee briefcases and the wee bony fingers and the white knuckles. You say, is that a bomb? Shut your face, you. Oh, okay. I want a windy seat. Oh! Climbing over people, get into the windy. Drunk and making a complete fool of yourself. Sit at the windy. Oh, this is a game, isn't it? Oh, look at that. The people look just like ants, don't they? Say, they are ants, we're not away yet, Jimmy. Oh, well, fair enough. Oh, proceed to make a right idiot of yourself. Get 2 wrong ends of safety belt, 2 buckles. Tie it in a knot and go to sleep. So the guy next to you has to pinch the buckle for the guy next to him. Whoop! Click! And he goes to sleep as well. The guy at the end's left with 1 bit of seatbelt. No buckle. Has to tie it round his leg. Kid on, he's sleeping and all. And then, woof, off you go. And you're up there. Reading the safety instructions. They give you a safety belt and a cushion. What's the cushion for? You're supposed to tuck it under your body and bend over it with your wee silly belt on. Now, supposing you're heading for a mountain at 500 miles an hour, oh, with your safety belt and your cushion in your hand. What do you do with your cushion? Do you all throw it at the one time and you say, go away, nasty mountain! That's what you do. Now, you've also, if you read the instructions, got a life belt under your seat, a safety jacket, a life jacket tucked under your seat. That's fair enough. I fancy a parachute myself. But you get a life jacket. And that's magic, isn't it? So you're heading for Manchester like that, vertically. Whoa! About 600 miles an hour towards Manchester in a straight line. Whoosh! With your life jacket all blown up. Say to the bloke next to you, hey, I hope it's raining, eh? Shouting to the pilot, hey, Jimmy, aim for a puddle, would you? It's just no funny, really.